Welcome to the Wealthy Woman's Podcast, a podcast for high-achieving women who are great at making money but struggle to build wealth. You'll learn how to take control of your money, increase your net worth, and make more. Ladies, it's time to create a life with more money and more freedom. Let's dive in. Well, hello there. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are talking about 4 things you do not need to do in order to build wealth. And I'm going to be giving you a sneak peek inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy because these 4 things we do not do. Let's get started. So the first thing we do not focus on in order to build wealth inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy is cutting expenses. We do not focus our energy on cutting expenses. Most of my clients never cut expenses. What? Yes, this is true. I know that a lot of people that I know personally think that because I'm a money coach, that I'm all about cutting expenses. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I believe in building wealth while enjoying life at the same time. So that means I want you to spend on things that matter to you. I want you to spend guilt-free on those things. And I want you to make powerful decisions about the things you don't want to spend your money on. Okay? So we do not need to focus our attention solely on cutting expenses. And when we do, we step over dollars to pick up pennies. And we don't want to do that. We do not want to step over dollars in order to pick up pennies. Because when we're so focused on what can I cut? Because let's be honest, there's only so much you can cut from your expenses. You have to live life, right? We don't focus on how can I build wealth? How can I bring in more money? How can I be more abundant and allow more money come into my life, right? So this is why that is not our focus. We don't just focus on that. Now, what we do, though, is we optimize, right? So once you look at your expenses and see where all your money is going, you may decide, hey, I don't know if I really want to spend my money this way. And then you optimize and make a different, more powerful decision from an intentional space of where you do want your money to go. But our focus is never, ever on just cutting, and slashing expenses. So that is one thing you do not have to do. You may decide when you're in the academy that you're not cutting any expenses. And some of my clients do that, and it's totally fine. They're still able to build wealth. So there's a concept called the latte factor that many of you may be familiar with, which really did kind of focus on cutting expenses. And I think that's one of the reasons why we think we need to do that, because the latte factor said, hey, you're spending $5 a day on coffee. Imagine how much that is a year. And if you just invested that much instead, you would then become a millionaire, right? And I want to offer, you can invest that amount and still buy your lattes. Like, why do we have to choose one or the other, right? Especially if you're being intentional with your money, especially if you are deciding intentionally where you want to go. If you have goals of building wealth and you're working towards those goals and you're intentionally taking steps towards those goals, I think you can do both. I think you can buy your latte if you want to and still build wealth, right? And so in the Wealthy Woman's Academy, we focus on doing both. Spending money on things that you truly value and that you truly desire while still building wealth, because you can do both, okay? Number 2. So the second thing we do not do in order to build wealth inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy is go on strict budgets. We do not go on strict budgets inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy. It's actually forbidden. I have come up with a more liberating, creative way for you to handle your money, and it does not involve going on a strict budget. And the reason why that is because strict budgets backfire. Let me give you an example of what I mean by a strict budget. They are those zero-based budgets where every single dollar has a name and every single line item has a very specific amount of money you can spend. For example, you can spend $848.50 on groceries. And if you're not perfect, if you don't follow it to perfection, then your entire budget is going to be messed up and you're going to have to sit back down and fix it, right? You got to pull from another line item in order to make up for it. And that is too tedious and it's too hard to follow and it's just too restrictive, right? And most people, when they don't do it correctly, they tell themselves, see, I told you this money thing wasn't work. I'm just bad with money. I can't figure it out. So I'm just going to give up and not even try. So they backfire, right? And instead, there is a more free way, a more liberating way you can handle your money. And we do that inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy. So if you want to learn how you can have a plan for your money that you'll actually enjoy following, then you should join the Wealthy Woman's Academy because that plan will allow you to build wealth over time. It will allow you to enjoy life today and build wealth for the future. Okay, so one of the things you do not need to do is go on a strict budget. So the third thing that you do not need to do is give up all the things that bring you joy. And this is a good one because there was a study done by Fidelity Investments. It was their money mindset study that they did in 2022. And it said that 76% of people surveyed thought that in order to save and invest and build wealth, they would need to give up the things that brought them joy. They would need to stop spending on the things that brought them joy. It's almost like there's this all or nothing thinking that we all like to grab onto, where we think that either we're going to enjoy our lives and not worry about our money and not focus on our money or not focus on building wealth, or we're going to focus all on money and building wealth and have a boring, frugal life. And I want you to know that you do not have to choose between the two. My motto again is build wealth and enjoy life at the same time. And this kind of thinking, thinking that you need to give up the things that bring you joy, the reason why it's kind of dangerous is for two reasons. Number one, it prevents people from even starting in the first place because you can't fathom giving up doing all the things that you love doing, maybe until retirement. That's what a lot of people think, that you should wait until retirement to really enjoy your life and to really build wealth. And people, especially high achieving women who've worked hard to get to where they are, you just can't fathom that. So you do nothing. You don't even start. You don't even try. And the second reason why this way of thinking is dangerous is because it sets you up for failure. So let's say you do decide to try and do that and you use willpower, right? You get all the willpower you have inside of you and you just focus on stop doing all the things you love. Stop shopping, stop traveling, stop going out to nice restaurants, stop buying lattes, stop going out to lunch during work, right? You stop doing all of those things. You may do that for a little while, just like with the fad diet. You may be able to go on a really strict diet where you only eat cabbage for a long time. And what happens? It works because you have just enough willpower. Humans only have a finite amount of willpower. And they use that willpower to give up everything they love, to stop buying all the things they enjoy, or to only eat the foods that will help them lose a bunch of weight. And what happens? In the short term, you lose the weight and you save the money or you pay off the debt because you're not spending it on these other places. But you only can do that for so long because the willpower will run out and you will revert back. And when you revert back, you're going to beat yourself up. You're going to say, see, I told you I'm just bad with money. See, this isn't working. And then you quit. And all that progress you've made, all the money you saved, you spend it again. All the debt you paid off, you run it back up again. And it becomes this vicious cycle, or it doesn't become a cycle at all because you just stop trying altogether. Same thing with your weight. You will lose the weight, but guess what? The weight comes back, and sometimes even more weight comes back when you're no longer engaging in the fad diet that was very restrictive and not sustainable because you didn't have enough willpower. We humans, we just don't have enough willpower to make those things work. So inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy, we do not do this. We focus on figuring out what is most important to you in your life, and you get to spend your money on those things guilt-free. And then we fiercely decide what we're not going to spend our money on anymore, the things that don't mean anything to us, the things that are robbing us from actually building wealth. We figure out what those things are and we fiercely decide no more, right? And so if you want to join me inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy, you get so much support. When you first join, you work with me, just me and you on Zoom, one-to-one for an entire month, 4 sessions, 4 weeks, where we get your specific situation under control. Now, this part of the Wealthy Woman's Academy is available as of now. If you're listening to this in the future, this part of it may not be available, but right now it is available. You get one-on-one support, and then you graduate out into the group where you get a full year of support. And the reason why this is important is because we as humans, we have been living our lives this way for a while, and it's going to take some work to change. And it's nothing like having someone there to support and guide you while you make mistakes and try again and figure things out and then get back on track to get back to doing the things you want to do, because you will mess up. You will not get it right the first time. And the Wealthy Woman's Academy is a safe space for you to figure it out, for you to get the support that you need so that you don't quit, so that you don't give up. And we're setting you up for success at the beginning, not for failure, because you're not getting put on a strict budget and you're not having to give up all the things you love. So if this sounds like just the support, guidance, and accountability you want in your life so that you can build wealth and enjoy life at the same time, go to the show notes to learn more about the Wealthy Woman's Academy, or go to www.jermainefoley.com/WWA. Again, that's Jermaine with a G. I would love, love, love to support you and help you in reaching your financial goals and showing you what's possible for you to do. I'm talking to you. You can do this. If I could do it, anybody can do it. Listen to my story from last episode with my husband, episode number 48, and then go back to episode number 2 to hear my extended story, my not so pretty money story, and you will see that my money was a hot mess and I was able to change it. So if I can do it, then why can't you? So the fourth and final thing you do not need to do in order to build wealth, and we do not do these things inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy, is wait until you make more money to start getting your money under control. Listen, before I get deeper into this concept, I want to let you know that I love helping my clients make more money. It's one of the pillars. It's one of the things we work on inside of the Academy. I believe that when we open ourselves up to receiving money from multiple channels, that is an amazing thing, and I help my clients do that. It's actually something that I coach on inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy, and most of my clients end up making more. They end up making more in their businesses, in their careers, or a combination of both. Some people start businesses. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But what we don't do is wait until we make more money in order to start getting our money under control and building wealth. Because a lot of people trick themselves into thinking, I'll get my money under control, I'll build wealth, I'll save more, I'll invest more, I'll pay off my debt when I make more money. And we're constantly kicking the can down the road. And the women that I work with are high achieving women who already make plenty of money. So there's no need to wait. You can start building wealth today. You can start saving today. You can start paying off debt today. You can start investing today. You can start making more today if that's what you want. But we do not need to wait until you make more to start building wealth. Okay? Because again, you make enough now. And when you tell yourself, it's your primitive brain actually telling you, that's that part of your brain that wants to keep you in the familiar situation that you're in, where it's constantly money in, money out, and you do not keep money, you do not save money, you do not have money. You haven't learned the skill of actually having money. And so that part of your brain wants to keep you there because that's how you survived all these years. And that part of your brain is only concerned with survival. It doesn't care about you thriving. It doesn't care about you growing. It doesn't care about you evolving into the next level where you actually know how to keep money, have money, and become wealthy. Like, that is not your brain's goal. that part of your brain at least, it wants you to just stay where you are. Like, we're fine here. We've survived all this time. Why do we need to change things up? So it will offer you, hey, let's just wait until you make more money. You can catch up later. Go ahead and focus on just enjoying life and spending however you want to spend and doing whatever you want to do and not really caring or focusing or thinking about your money or your future. Go ahead and we'll catch up. And when you think we'll catch up, you never ever do, because guess what happens? When you do make more, you haven't built up that skill of having money. So when you make more, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to spend it. You're going to wonder where it's going. You're not going to hold on to it. You're not going to keep it. And so the goal is to start wherever you are today so that when more money does come, you already have the habit, you already have the skill set, and it's just second nature that you will build wealth with that extra money. So if it's a promotion where you get a big promotion, or you start a new job, or you get a bonus, or you get some sort of commission or windfall, or you raise your prices in your business, that new money that comes in, that extra money that comes in, you're automatically going to have programmed your brain to take care of it, to build wealth with it and enjoy it as well. Okay. So those are the 4 things. If you want to build wealth without doing the 4 things I talked about, without cutting expenses, without going on a strict budget, without giving up the things that bring you joy, without waiting until you make more money, then you are invited to join me inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy. You can go to the show notes to actually learn more about it, or you can go to jermainefoley.com/WWA. That's Jermaine with a G. I would love, love, love to have you inside. You can learn more about it by going to that webpage, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, before you go, if you're ready to create a life with more money and more freedom, then you're invited to join the Wealthy Woman's Academy, my signature coaching program where you'll learn how to take control of your money and build wealth without sacrificing your lifestyle. To get started, head on over to jermainefoley.com/WWA. That's Jermaine with a G. See you over there. Bye-bye.